raise your hands if you have a family member, or you have a colleague, or you have friends, or you have anybody you know in your life at all that comes into contact with you who is part of the LGBTQ community. Raise your hands. Hello, Maddy.
Hi, Jeremy.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Jeremy.
My name is Maddy.
And we are the Imperfect Rainbow.
By the time you're listening to this, it is the month of June.
Yes, and we want to say, first and foremost, Happy Pride Month! Happy Pride Month, everybody! Happy Rainbow Month!
Woo!
Let the rainbow out! Let the rainbow out!
We are
Come
the
on,
Imperfect
sir.
Rainbow, so we are out this Pride Month.
Oh yeah, we are! Oh yes, we are!
What is Pride Month?
Well, Pride Month is really the celebration of the LGBTQIA plus community, right? So anybody who is in the community, this is the month. Well, generally it's the month globally, right? Where we celebrate the LGBTQ community. Some countries celebrate in different months, yeah. But this is the one month, kind of like the commonly accepted month, where we come out and we celebrate. We celebrate us for being us. We celebrate diversity. We celebrate inclusion, and we celebrate the right to love anybody we choose to love.
Oh,
because
I love
love
this.
is love.
I love this celebration of the right to love, because this morning my daughter is asking me, what is Pride Month? Because I was telling them that we're going to record this episode.
Oh,
and she said, what is Pride Month? I said, Pride
wow.
Month is celebrating differences, celebrating the different individuals and LGBTQIA community, but I didn't say that it's celebrating the right to love. So our episode is, what is it?
So the name of this of today's episode is Let's Talk About LGBT. Yeah, let's talk about
Why?
LGBT.
So, okay, it's so appropriate, right? It's June, it's Pride Month, and this is a reason why we want to really talk more about this.
That's right, yes. And maybe I want to just give definition first,
Yes,
yeah?
yes,
I
yes.
don't want to assume that everybody knows this, right? And I think specifically it's LGBTQIA+, but let's keep it simple for now,
Yes.
LGBT. So LGBT stands for L, lesbian, G, gay, B, bisexual, or I think bi-curious as well, and then T is transgender.
Thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Yeah.
And I feel this is a good platform to share information,
yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. And I do also want to say that, number one, don't worry about you not being, I'm not woke enough to know about the definitions and what to say and all that. I think it's where, number one, we're learning. And I also want to say that there's constant research going on, right? And even I am learning, right? Especially, for example, about the trans community. So there's a lot of stuff going on, there's a lot of research. And it's of course great if you keep yourself abreast, but don't worry if you feel like, oh my God, I don't know enough and I'm drowning in this, and therefore I better stay clear because I don't know. I think that's the last thing you want to do. I think what I really want people to do during Pride Month is stay engaged. Come and learn to love, and know who we are, and come out and love your LGBT friends, your colleagues, your family members. This is the best time to show your love and support. So don't shy away because you don't know or you're worried that you may offend. Just come out and with your sincere self and learn what our love is all about. I think that's all I
Beautiful.
require.
What a beautiful opening.
Request from all of us. Yeah.
What a true ambassador. And I call myself an ambassador too. Because only last year then I learned this term ally.
Allyship.
A-L-Y.
Lovely.
So I have no idea what the meaning of ally is until I was at a party. And then I'm like, okay, I'm always learning. There's always something to learn. But I really like the idea that just come engage, come open.
Yes.
And just realize that we are all human beings.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I really want to normalize any unfamiliarity, fears that you have, which I think is really normal. You know, like Jeremy and I, we come from completely different background. We're completely different individuals, but we have a strong desire to really just normalize, again, using our stories and our experience to just share with you whatever that, we want to share about LGBT.
Yes. That's right. Okay, I know what's happening. Okay, yeah, to press record, right?
Already.
Is it record? It's already recording.
recording.
Yes. It's so funny. Okay, that's because Maddy is recording herself on the iPhone, and we're like, and Paul was like, "Hey, you mean I'm record? I'm the mayo." Sorry, it took me a while to get the sign language.
But again, before we even go into this topic, we want to thank you so much for tuning into us, the Imperfect Rainbow.
Yes, always.
Just a couple of weeks ago, we celebrated our followership over 100.
Yay!
So we are also celebrating celebrating the birth and the ever changing new things that we're learning about being a podcaster. So we really want to thank you for your willingness to tune in to us and pick up this topic. And if this topic means, or rather if this episode means something to you and you feel that your friends and family can benefit, please kindly share this episode with your friends and family on IG, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, whatever, because it will really do the community and everyone who is a human being great if we can just spread the awareness.
Absolutely. And I think that's exactly why we want to talk about this topic. And I've been very out, right, about me being a gay man, in the workplace, in my life. I really hope that this episode will be a tool for you, right? Listening in. And if you have any friends, family members, colleagues, and I've got a little story to share here.
Life story.
Who are LGBT, right? So there was one time, I remember, in our previous ex-workplace, and I asked this question before. I asked, it was campfire, and I asked, raise your hands right now, and perhaps I'm asking you right now as well. Raise your hands if you have a family member, or you have a colleague, or you have friends, or you have anybody you know in your life at all that comes into contact with you who is part of the LGBTQ community. Raise your hands. And right now, I bet my bottom dollar, every single person of you, every single one of you who's listening in right now, you're raising your hand. Because during that campfire, when I asked this question, every single person raised their hands. And I want to tell you that this is purely statistics, all right? So this statistics is from research. It's about 10% of the world population is LGBT. So it's purely statistics. In other words, every 10 person that you know, very likely one of them is LGBT. So it's purely statistics. So I just hope that this episode is an episode that you could use to share to your friends or family, whoever, because let's face it, it is not an easy topic to talk about. A sensitive topic, especially in Singapore. It has a lot of divided opinions on this. And so I know it's not easy. And a lot of this conversation happens behind closed doors, in some of this, in very, very private context. So and this is a very public platform for us. But I really want to use this platform to talk more about LGBT. LGBT community. I want to talk about Pride Month. I want to use this occasion to normalize this conversation. I want us to feel equipped to be able to talk about this.
I really like it. And I think because it is exactly that, it's not easy. It's a sensitive topic. It's a divisive topic. And in order to grow, we really want to lean into the so-called uneasiness of it.
Let's lean in.
Lean in. We want to give you stories, we want to give you tools, we want to give you a perspective from Jeremy as a gay man, from me as a mother of two, to just talk about this topic. And for me, why we want to talk about this topic, because we are all human beings. We are all the same. Whether you are LGBTQIA+, next time there will be probably more alphabets that come out of this.
It's a spectrum.
Man or woman, single, whatever, children or dog lover, cat lover. There's only one thing that links us all together is we're all the same human beings.
We are.
Okay, 我们都是人. So let's just face it. Okay, this is a common thread. So we're all equal. I really just want to call this out.
Yes.
And just as I mentioned earlier, we want to normalize the mix of emotions around this topic. It's fear and shame, embarrassment, there is
so
anger,
much of it.
there is anxiety, whatever it is. So we really just want to call these emotions as, sometimes we don't even say these emotions out, but we just want to call it out.
Yes, indeed we do, And I just talked about this with you and Maddy. I'm just happy that I love that we are from two different worlds, and yet our worlds collide in this very magical moment and this space. And I think this was really beautiful it's working for us, right? Because I'm a gay man. I'm not married. I'm my partner, but I have no children. You are heterosexual. You are happily married. You've got 2 children. We can't be more different in that sense.
We can't be more different.
But yet our views come together on this, and I'm just so happy that whoever you're listening, whoever is listening in right now, I also want to let you know that whatever your background is, it really doesn't matter. Because your background doesn't determine what your view is. And it shouldn't. I want you to know that you own your own view today, and I want you to listen. I hope you're listening in with a very open mind, and I hope that you're able to take home something with you
because
today.
I can imagine some individuals, if they are working in some companies or organizations, or if they're in a community whereby, I don't know, for some reason doesn't support, doesn't call out, or, just doesn't see LGBT as a thing, but maybe they themselves have nothing against, like they've all, like us, they have their opinions, they would like to support, but maybe they are like, I don't know,
They don't know how.
They're surprised by the external environment. They don't want to
yeah.
talk about it. Maybe they have a colleague or a friend that is LGBT,
Yes.
but they don't know how.
They don't know how.
Then how?
Yeah. Just now you brought an example, right? Your hubby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Share the example. That was a really good example.
So this is also a new thing, or not new thing. So a few years ago, when we were working in the same organization, this whole diversity and inclusion topic became a big topic, and I'm really thankful for our ex-company who really invest time and effort in
They really do. Yeah.
spreading the awareness of what this whole D&I is all about.
Yes.
And I mean, D&I, there's so many different pillars, but particularly I think that one campfire was about LGBT community, something like that. So then, after attending that town hall, I'm like, wow, there's so many things that I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I'm just purely curious. So I was just turning my head to my husband who is working beside me. I'm asking him, hey, do you have gay clients or not? Then he say, no leh. Okay, so for context, my husband is a property agent. So he meets many different people from all walks of life, wanting to upgrade, sell, buy house and this kind of thing.
But he probably doesn't have any like LGBT friends, right?
Yes, in the first place, he doesn't have not that I know of, he doesn't have LGBT
Or maybe
friends.
not that he knows of.
Yeah,
maybe not that he knows
exactly.
of. Okay.
So I asked him, do you have gay clients? He said no. Then I asked him, okay, would you serve them if you know that they are gay? Then immediately his instant reaction is, no, I will not serve them.
Oh.
Then I'm, in my heart, in that immediate moment, I was a bit angry. I'm like, walao. So I just attended.
Why you discriminate the LGBT clients?
I had a little bit of maybe not anger, a bit of like irritation.
Yeah.
Because I just like attended this
Annoyance,
D&I, like,
yes.
we are all human beings, and then you tell me now you will not serve gay client, like, hey, what's wrong with you, man? And then I asked him, hey, why? Then he say, I don't know, I don't know, I just don't know how to approach them. Maybe if I can choose, I would just choose to serve a normal set of clients.
Yeah.
And so then I applied some kind of compassion to this whole situation, and then I realized that, actually for him, he doesn't have LGBT friends, because I do. From secondary school, I already know somebody who is lesbian and now turned transgender. So he doesn't have that familiarity. And in his work environment, the clients that he serves, they are all normal couples, because in the Singapore context, you need to be married to upgrade and things like that. So he really, truly is not aware of this community. So that is the reason why he's saying no. But after I gave him a little bit of context and awareness about this whole topic, then he was open to listen, and he was open to be more aware of this whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's how life is sometimes. Because when we're not familiar with something,
we are scared.
I think then we're scared. We're scared to approach it. Because and I can totally understand. Like if you're not familiar with the LGBTQIA plus community, or you don't have LGBT friends, maybe you feel like, and I think a lot of them tell me this feedback, right? I don't know how to start. I don't know what's the right way to approach it, and because of that fear, you go like, 算了吧. Maybe I just keep quiet about it. Maybe I just remain silent about it. And I think that's what I really wish you were not. Because I'd rather you approach it, and I'd rather you approach me as a friend and we talk about it, than to keep quiet. Because when you keep quiet, I don't know what you're thinking of.
Yeah, I think about it, right? Actually, the only difference between a heterosexual and a gay person is just the sexual preference is different, right?
Exactly that.
It's the same thing. Like, I think this is a human behavior. Anything that is not exactly like us, we have our own opinion.
Of course.
And we have our own judgment.
Of course.
Like,
and we always lean towards things that we're familiar with. People who look like us.
Yes.
That's called bias. That's perfectly normal.
Yeah,
I want to
imagine
say
if
it's
you're
normal.
dating somebody, for the first time,
Yeah.
you don't know what he likes to eat, you don't know what movie he likes, then you'll be like, yeah, maybe he don't like the food that I eat, maybe he don't like the movie that I watch. It's the same kind of uncertainty, it's the same kind of fear. So this is just about difference in sexual preferences.
That's right. That's right. And I also want to call this out. In a good way. So what you did just now, when you talked about to your husband about this topic, this is allyship in action.
Allyship.
Allyship is really important, because allyship means you're standing alongside me in this situation I am, and you're being my friend, and you're being a supporter, and we all need that. All of us need allies, right? And honestly, whatever race, whatever sexuality, we all need allies. But of course, in the Pride Month, even more importantly, we need allies to the LGBTQ community. And I got a little story here to share.
Come.
I had the most amazing ally in my life. And I'll call her name. Should I call her name? Okay, maybe not. Maybe should I call her name?
If you don't mind, if you
Okay, I hope she doesn't mind. Yeah, I'll call her name. Her name is Catherine. A very, very, very dear friend of mine. We used to. So I first knew her as a colleague. Today we are really dear friends. And we travel together sometimes and all of that. But let me tell you this story. A powerful allyship story. The first time I met her was in an onboarding. So we kind of came to this onboarding session together. Again, I won't mention the name of the company, but we were in the pharmaceuticals, right? Producing pharmaceutical drugs. And we were just talking, and the HR was kind of going through like, okay, so these are the company policies, so on and so forth. These are the benefits, because onboarding session, right? And then she stopped and she raised her hand. She said, hey, so do we have any policies, like do you have any benefits, etc., for HIV patients? Let's say if you're an employee and you are a HIV patient.
Wow.
And I'm looked at her, I'm like, oh my God, this, number one in my mind, this girl has balls.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? And number two, I'm like, oh my God, that's an ally right there, right? And then HR was obviously astounded because the HR was like, what in the world is happening? Like, clearly it's written on her face that nobody asked me this question. And you can tell that HR was struggling to answer the question. But essentially, of course, we know that in Singapore, our laws are not very updated, right? So at that point of time, even now, I believe, so our insurance policies and all that are very slow. And we don't cover, HIV drugs. But yet our company produces it. So her point of view was like, wait a minute, if we are earning money from HIV drugs and we're selling to HIV patients,
why don't we have this policy?
Exactly. So if our employees are HIV positive, why are they not being reimbursed? Why do they not get benefits from this? And I thought that was a demonstration of the most powerful allyship I've seen in my life. And which is why our friendship remains so strong today, because I'm like, this girl is fighting for our community. And again, please don't get me wrong, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that HIV is a disease or an illness that's associated with the LGBTQIA plus community. Definitely not. It is this illness, this virus, it does not discriminate whether you're straight or you're gay. But what I'm saying is she's fighting. And I can see how she's being an ally. So I want to say that allyship is a really powerful thing. So if you have friends or family who are LGBT, consider being an ally for them, because allyship means so much to us.
And over here, we are really trying to not use labels to put us in different buckets, right?
Yes.
By being an ally, you're just being a person that wants to bring people together. And perhaps Catherine is doing that. You know, she is calling that question out, not because she wants to be an ally. She just cares for people as a whole.
She does.
Whatever label or whatever category you're in, we just care for people. And I think this is what Jeremy and I mean, we are both doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, we are allies, we are human beings, but we just want to call out and support different people of different groups. Yeah. So don't get too hung up on words and labels.
Yes. Don't get too hung up on that. Being an ally simply means you're supporting. You're supporting somebody. You're supporting an LGBTQI plus friend or family member out there.
And if you have a friend or a family that's a non-ally, also don't go and discriminate lah.
Yeah. Please don't.
So we are not saying that ally or non-ally is like good or bad. It's nothing about good or bad.
Yes. I want to say sometimes, just to keep it light, right? Allyship doesn't have to be. I mean, that was a very good example, like being very vocal and all that. And it can look like that. But I want to say that it is definitely visible, but it doesn't have to be that vocal as well. Especially if you feel like, hey, I want to support, but I don't know how to. So let me tell you a very simple way of doing it. Actually, just putting a rainbow flag somewhere, like a little rainbow badge, right? And on your bag, whatever, that is a sign of allyship, because there's a visible sign of saying that number one, you support. Number two is you're inclusive, right? So that's which is why in our workplace, remember just last year we did like rainbow steps.
Yes.
So that rainbow steps is very symbolic. I mean, why do you want to paint the steps rainbow? Because you want it to be a symbol of inclusion. You want people to walk into the door, into the office, see the rainbow steps and go, got it. I see that this space is inclusive. And imagine the feeling of somebody who's in the LGBT community walking in. Immediately this signals to the person, okay, this is a safe space.
Yeah.
Or rather, at least this is an inclusive space, right? And then I'm a bit more open to be a bit freer, to be myself, to be my authentic self to work or to this place.
Yeah.
So it could be as simple as that.
That's why we are called the imperfect rainbow.
We are called
right?
imperfect rainbow. There's a reason for that. Yeah. And I also want to say that another way of doing it, like rainbow flag, right? Another way it can be ally is, and this is a shout out to Pinkdot. You went to Pinkdot last year, right?
So I went.
Yeah, tell us more about it.
Oh, it was such an amazing experience. So I cannot remember exactly what drove me to make the decision to go to Pinkdot. I think it was a game of why not. Like I think Pinkdot has been around in Singapore for, I think if I'm not wrong, 10 years already.
16 years.
16,
I was just checking. 16. Pinkdot 16 is this year. Yeah.
So last year, I think it was organized by our colleagues. Who wants to go? Then I'm like, okay, now let's go. And then last year,
I think it was organized. So it was organized by one of our colleagues, but it wasn't a company driven.
It wasn't a company driven thing. It was just whoever is
somebody
interested.
Somebody
correct. It was not a company thing. So I decided to go with my family. So I brought my two children.
And I missed it last year, right?
Yeah, you missed it. I think you're overseas.
Yes, I was.
So we went to Hong Lim Park. For the first time I attended that park. It's like not really a party. It's like a gathering / party.
It's a huge picnic.
Yeah, exactly. Huge outdoor picnic.
It's a huge picnic.
So it was really a great experience for me as a newbie to this. So many takeaways. So firstly, it's really fun. There's so many different people coming together for the one same cause, which I think in the moment the whole energy was really very warm, very real. Everyone is really warm and nice, and they're like all one big family.
It's all welcoming,
even though we don't know who the hell we are each
inclusive.
other, right? And there's so many different colorful individuals. Okay, I mean some you don't know whether they're straight, gay or whatever. It doesn't matter. But there's some like really loud, coming with flamboyant dresses. A lot of gowns, a lot of feathers, fur, and it's really beautiful because fabulous is really I know they have a term for it, like queer. Is it I don't know.
Drag queens. Yes, of course.
So there are a lot of performance, a lot of music, and a lot of speeches given by individuals. So my experience is that after attending the whole few hours of a party at Hong Lim, that the LGBTQIA community, they just want to be heard and seen.
Exactly.
They just want to be seen only. There's nothing more that they want to do. They don't want to create a nuisance, and that's the last they want to be. Of course, we know that there'll be people who do not agree, do not support. There'll be haters. Okay, there will be. Whatever you do, there will be haters in the world, in this world, but we just bless them. But my experience is just want to be seen and heard. And then like some of the individuals, they came up to speak about their story and everything. It was so touching. It was also very sad to hear about like the suicidal rates that some of the young teens unfortunately got themselves in because they had no support from their family. And they weren't accepted. They weren't accepted. They were not seen. They were not heard. And then they have to, in the end, go to suicide. It's really sad, There was one particular speaker that spoke about that. Wow, my heart really aches. So like, okay, they just want to be seen and heard. They're just people, and they just want to express themselves authentically. So like, what's wrong with that? And I feel like, in a way, I feel like in a way pain to see that they have to do so many things just to be seen and heard. But it's not that they have a choice, that they have a different sexual preference. It's not that they have a choice in wanting to love differently. They are just a human being.
That's right.
And I was really happy to bring my children there, and children being children, and I'm even more happy to see other families having children there. They even have a play area, a bouncing castle thing, so children play together. So to really normalize this whole thing. So also in that Pinkdot event, then I learned the word of ally. Because there's this singer, I think her name is Miss Pretty. Her music, her rap is so funny.
She is so cool. She's really funny.
So cool, so funny. Even
shout out to her, okay?
Yeah, my daughter loves her songs. And I'm like, what is the meaning of ally? Then I asked my friend, who is a lesbian couple. Then she explained to me, ally just means you, lor. Means you who are supporting us.
You who turned up for Pinkdot.
Then I'm like, oh my god. And then I felt that, I really have an important role to play. And I'm really thankful and grateful to be part of that session that night. Exactly. Yeah, this is my reflection.
And it's so nice that you brought your children there. And I want to say this. We always think that children have a mind of their own, which is true. But I also want to say that actually a lot of times children are being conditioned. But when you look at children play when they're young, say in the playground, do they care about gender? Do they care about race? Do they care about sexuality? They don't.
Yeah.
So I think it's only when we come into adulthood and we start
It's the
getting
stories that we tell them, unfortunately.
we get colored by the narratives that we hear, by the narratives we see. But you know what? We were kind of born to play together in the same community.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that you brought children there, because I think that gives them exposure to see what a wonderful society could look like, a community could look like when we come together.
And my children, they just they really have no condition, they have no opinions, no nothing. They were just there attending this picnic with different colorful groups of people, and they're just having fun. So there isn't any. I mean, maybe also like I really normalize this whole thing, right? So maybe they say, oh, why this person wear like this and why like that? They were just pure curious to, oh, why is this person looking different? That's it. But without that judgment, they have no such, or at least I don't hear it from them. No such a divisive judgment in their minds. They were just openly accepting what is.
So in the moment, when they see something that's very different from what they normally see and all that, do you explain? Like, how do you
I think
work through that experience?
Of course, before going to the Pinkdot event, I told them that, I'm bringing you to this event.
Yeah.
It is a community by LGBTQIA. It is celebrating the right to love. I think that was the theme last year or something like that. And just telling them that, I mean, ever since when they are like quite young, maybe, sometimes we see movies, right? A little bit of LGBT messages and things like that. And even from when they're young, I already told them that, different people just love in different ways.
Yes.
Men and men, women love women, men love women, that kind of thing. So I think from the earliest I told them that it's a normal thing. So they didn't really came in with any strange thoughts, I would say.
I got a very good example to share over here about how to talk to children about this. Yeah, and I think this could be a lesson that, because I picked it up for one of our campfires, I found it immensely helpful. And I think this could be something that, if you're a parent out there, you want to teach your children about LGBT, this could be helpful, right? So this is how you can do it. Use the color pencil example.
Oh, wow. How?
Interested, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So color when you use when you're a child, and you always have coloring exercises, right?
Yes.
So you have like obviously a set of color pencils, many different colors, right? Like the rainbow, right? Many hues of colors. So the thing is, we all know that all of us likes different colors, and it's perfectly okay for you to like different colors, right? You may like red, I may like blue, somebody may like green. But you know what? Isn't the world such a beautiful and colorful place when it's full of different colors? So you can talk to your children and like imagine a world where it's all blue. The trees are blue, the flowers are blue, the ocean is blue, the mountains are blue. Like, how would it look like? Would it be nice compared to what you see right now? Isn't the world a much more beautiful and richer a place when your diversity of colors exist? So I think this is exactly how it is like, because all of us like different colors. So liking a person is like different colors. You may like blue and I may like green. And it's okay. And if you don't like my green, that's fine. You can stick to liking your blue. Yeah. So I thought it was a really powerful way of saying that, just because we're all different and we like different colors, doesn't mean that we can't play together. Doesn't mean that we can't be friends. Doesn't mean we can't accept each other. In fact, it's perfectly fine that we like different colors. It is just a matter of liking different colors. Nothing wrong with that.
I can imagine it's going to be challenging for a parent, like parent or adult who, let's say, by themselves, their opinion, they don't support. Okay, they don't support for whatsoever reason, which is fine, this LGBT. And yet, they understand that it is here to stay. There's nothing wrong about being LGBT. But then how do this parent explain and teach their young children to
when they themselves have not accepted?
When they themselves have not accepted. I can imagine it's hard, but I'm just thinking that if it's in this, if you are facing such a situation, it's okay to not accept and teach, but you just have to let the children know the facts that we all deserve the right to like and love differently. Even if you have your own preferences, the truth is, every human being have their own choices.
Yeah. We
And
have our
that
own
one
choice
day
to
your
make.
children, whether they choose whatever ways that they choose, is their own choice. We have to also respect them as an individual making their own choices.
Yeah.
很难啦, I'm not saying
I think it's
easy lah.
hard. Yeah. I think it's tough. I think it's tough to. I think
respect law.
Yeah, I think it's tough to educate or to inform something about something if you are not convinced yourself. Yeah, which is why I think there's a lot of misinformation that goes out there, and a lot of
Shaming.
a lot of shaming because the parents themselves are not accepting, and obviously then they can't perpetuate that with the children, which is why I said a lot of times children may not be the one who have their own colors in terms of that narrative, colored narrative. It's because that narrative has been passed on to them, and they have been taught that maybe LGBT is strange, it's not right.
I actually
it's
think that
immoral.
if ever you are faced with such a situation and you're really not comfortable or you don't know how to share, okay, the last you should do is you need to be very mindful of your words.
Language is important.
Nothing is stopping you from telling your child, hey, so and so, actually I don't know much about this topic. Mommy don't know, I'm not familiar, but let me find out. Just even acknowledge that you don't know, rather than you go and shame and scare the children and condition them, maybe without that intention to cloud their mind with the non-facts.
Yeah, or with your own judgment.
Yeah, with your own judgment.
Yeah.
Just be really mindful of your words, and if you don't know, just say you don't know, rather than coming up with stories, because this is all going to be even more. This whole topic about LGBT is going to be more pervasive because it is the norm. I mean, differences are to be normalized.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I do want to also
because
say,
I heard so many shaming comments and remarks before that. I feel that because your words are so lethal, if you don't know what to say, then don't say anything.
And you've seen it in person, right?
I've seen it.
Some
I've heard
it.
it. Yeah. Like normal parents, they will say nasty things if they realize that children, doesn't go the normal way. And then that is a lot of fear-based conditioning.
Yeah, and I want to pick up on the point on fear, and I can totally relate and understand, because you know why? Because all parents, let me tell you, all parents want one thing for their children. They want their children to live, and agree with me, choose agree or disagree, and let me know your point of view. All parents want their children to live a good life.
To be loved.
To be loved, to live a good life, to live a happy life, right? And the problem is, parents, a lot of parents you have seen that the friends around them, if they're LGBT, they struggle in society. They struggle to be accepted.
To be heard,
They struggle to be heard. They struggle to be seen, which is why there's a need for Pinkdot, right? Which is why there's a need for this episode. Because we know that no matter, even if it's a repeal of 377A, and we know that all that is done, but guess what? What does it actually do in society? I'm not sure what huge impact it has, because the truth is there is still discrimination. The truth is, it is still a hard journey that we go through. It is still a journey, a lot of unacceptance. So I think when parents always first hear about, if my children are LGBT, the first thing they do is they get so fearful. So like why is it that is a source of fear? Because they fear that, oh my God, my children are going to have a very tough life. They're going to have... And I think that's what my parents felt. Right? Because they think that, I'm going to have a very tough life.
They worry about it.
Worry about you, right? And it's genuine fear. You can probably feel that they worry about you because they know that you're gonna have a tough life. And I think all parents don't want their children to have a tough life, right? So that's the biggest concern. And I think that's exactly what I want to address, because I want people to know, and this is why I think I work so hard to role model this. I want people to know that you can live a happy, successful life if you choose to, and you work hard at it as a gay man in society. That's why we work so hard to go against the grain, and we work so hard to role model and to let people know that it's possible to live a happy life. So don't let fear be the source of where you make a decision, but choose to come from a place of compassion and accept your children for who they are and love them and let them prosper and let them be the best version of themselves they can ever be because you choose to love them. And that's my biggest message to parents today, because I think my parents have chosen to love me the way they did. But I also want to say that it wasn't easy. It took my mom 10 years to accept who I am, right? To come out. And even so, it wasn't an easy journey. So I do want to say, I really understand 父母的心, parents' heart. I really understand, because you don't want your children to go through a very, very tough life. So you rather turn your back against them. You rather, instill your enforce your wishes on them and say, like, I'd rather you be straight because it's going to be a much easier life for you. That's what they really want to say. I want you to have a good life. I want you to have an easy life. I don't want you to be a tough life.
But sometimes with the deepest and the most benevolent of intentions that we have as parents, wanting our children to have a good life, to be loved, to be successful, unknowingly our views and our fear of this topic as an example, and not to even mention about relationship, about success, about money, that kind of thing, right? This is just one topic. Sometimes our fear can actually lead them to a tough life. Our unfamiliarity and our discomfort about approaching and normalizing LGBT could be exactly, how should I say this? Could lead them to suffering. So instead of, threatening to disown them, for example, because I've heard things like that.
Right, of course,
not even allowing words like LGBT to be mentioned at home. Putting this as a do not talk about word at home.
Like
putting
a taboo topic.
Taboo topic.
Yeah.
Instead of putting things, this kind of, to me, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous rules at home. Let's just normalize it, Ken. Let them choose what they want.
Yeah.
If you have your own fear, it's fine. We know that we are all been through different parenting styles. We are all people of different generations. This is going to be a slow battle. I mean, whatever it is, it's going to be
it's a marathon.
It's a marathon. You don't have to support. You don't have to join Pinkdot. You don't have to be an ally. You don't have to have a gay friend or lesbian friend. You don't need to, hang a rainbow flag. You don't have to do any of these. But if you are, approached with this topic, be very, very mindful of the words. Be aware of what comes up to you first.
Of course.
If you don't know anything, don't say anything. But the last you want is to introduce fear to your open-minded, curious child who just want to know, what is the meaning of gay? Why is this woman kissing this woman? Why is this guy hugging a guy? These are just very normal, curious questions.
Yes.
But be very mindful of our answers, because our answers can come across like, they got a disease. And unfortunately, it's like that. So let's be really mindful as adults when we have this topic.
And you know what you're sharing, it's not new. It's not new. It probably happened 20 years ago. It's still happening today.
Still happening today.
Yeah.
What I'm saying in all these things that I say is still happening today. I mean, again, we are not discriminating you as a person who, if you are, if you happen to make these comments at home, right? It is okay. Even my husband, he didn't want to serve gay clients. He also don't know what he don't know. We just want to call out that it's okay if you are scared and unfamiliar and feel that, this is like not right. It's okay. But what we are also saying is that it is time to normalize and be aware of what you're thinking.
Yeah, and I think it's also okay to say that I don't know, and it's okay to come out and learn. Yeah. And I want to say this about learning. You think your children today have the handphone in their hands, they're going to school, they have access to so much information.
Netflix, all this YouTube.
So think about the kind of information they consume today. And where they're learning information from. So I want to think really, really hard about what kind of information you are giving to your children today. And I really hope that you be responsible to what you teach your children, because it's going to impact their future about this.
I really wonder whether our education system will mention about this. You know, because like my daughter, she's
my
P5.
God, this-
So my daughter is P5. They're starting
Right.
to learn about like, you know, sex, reproduction system. So there was this
I saw you on your Instagram stories. Yes.
yeah. So there was this letter that, you know, the school pushed, like, you know, do you opt in for your child to learn about sexual reproduction system, that kind of thing. Like, so they have
Okay.
this, you know, the school hall session.
Yeah.
And then of course I clicked yes because that's normal science things. But
Yeah.
in my mind, or maybe somebody was asking me like, whether D&I topics will be covered in school or not. So I don't have the answer. I'm really just curious, and I want to call out to educators. I can imagine it is a difficult role that you're in, you know, whether you're a teacher, principal, or anybody who is helping out in school, right? I'm sure children with the information that they're consuming, they'll be very curious, and they were gonna ask you, if they cannot get an answer from their parents, they try to find it from the digital information, or they will ask you as educator. So also be very mindful with your words.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm not going to go too much into this because there was, I think you may have heard there was quite a few episodes, right, about the school system teaching about topics that related to sex, sexuality, and there's quite a bit of misinformation given out
God,
at that point of time.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's very unfortunate. But I thought, I do think that some of the information needs to be thoroughly reviewed, and we need the right information to go out there. I think today we need facts.
Yeah,
we need facts. We don't need colored or clouded judgments from different camps, whatever it is, but we need facts to be out there. And I think we need to deliver facts to children, and we need to let them then make decisions for themselves. Yeah. But I want to kind of go back to this thing about supporting how to be an ally, right? I also want to say, sometimes we have a situation where we have colleagues who are LGBT, right? And we've been through this, and we kind of know that they are, and then we feel that they are not, but they're not, we didn't talk about it, but we feel like want to. So there's this kind of like, I suppose
Curiosity, right?
Curiosity, and then there's a little bit of like a gap in the relationship because you're not able to be open about it.
Okay.
So I in those situations, what do you do, right? So I want to give a little suggestion. I want to say that coming out for coming out of the closet for a gay or LGBT person generally means like it means being frank about his or her sexuality or his, her, or them sexuality. So I want to say that coming out is always their prerogative. Yeah. So I think it could be very rude. Can you imagine if they come up to you, hey, you're gay, are you gay now? You're lesbian? I think that could be very, very rude. Unless you feel that you are very, very close to the person already, and you feel that you are at the level, you feel that you trust the person now, you have a strong relationship enough to talk about it. If not, I always feel that the prerogative is on the other person.
Yeah.
If you feel that the person is not ready to share, then leave it.
Yeah.
Then leave it, because you know what? So what if he or she is or isn't? Does that affect your relationship? I mean, it's really not your story to tell, right? But I rather you focus on building a strong relationship and supporting this person through his or her a journey or in a workspace or whatever it is. I think that's more important.
I've got 2 points of reflection. The first one
Please.
is, in a situation like that, with colleagues that if I think that they are LGBT community, I don't do anything. I don't. Personally, for me, I don't ask because, as you say, I respect that it is their decision to say or not,
Right.
and I cannot force them. In a way, even though I kind of think I know, but in a way, I'm also not hungry to really know. Although I wish that whoever the person is willing to share, but then that's his own choice. So for me, when I'm faced with such a situation, a friend or a colleague, I just let them be. So that's for me. But I'm also very curious there. If a person is truly curious about the sexuality of this person,
Yes.
can they ask? Because I'm just asking for, maybe on behalf of many people, right? If
Sure,
they
of
suspect
course.
that their friend is gay,
Yeah.
and they truly just pure curious, right? It's just like, hey, you like to eat nasi lemak now, huh? It's like actually a simple question like that, right? But can they actually say like, hey, so and so, I'm really curious. I have a burning desire.
Right.
I don't know how you will feel, but can I just ask if you are gay or not? How would a person take it? Actually,
So this, which is
because
why
I'm sure there are many curious people.
Of
Right? They just
course.
want to know. They just want to connect with you. Only.
Yeah. Which is why I want to talk about this, right?
怎么样?
I really think it really hinges a lot on how close you are to this person.
Okay.
And you need to be able to gauge like Like, okay, so and number one, let's talk about intention. Is your intention more like gossip?
就是要懂咯
Okay, if your
没有什
intention-
么 intention you just want to know
Okay, but if your
Because you have
intention
this
is out of
burning desire.
sincerity, to know the other person better, and you're close enough to the person to ask this question, then I think it's okay.
Okay.
Because a lot of time I feel that it's very private, right? I mean, it's my prerogative, right? It's almost like asking for me, because you ask the question on, it seems to be like, oh, do you like nasi lemak? I'm not sure if it's like, do you like nasi lemak question. It felt more like a, did you have sex last night question. Right? It felt more like a, did you have sex last night question. How was the sex? Was it good?
Okay, delete the nasi lemak
Yeah,
question.
no, but maybe a good reference, a good litmus test is, if you feel comfortable enough to ask about ask the person whether you had good sex last night, then you're close enough to ask whether you're LGBT.
I like this tool. This is a good tool.
很厉害，对不对？ Not bad,
对，
right?
对，
This
不错，
point of reference not bad,
不错。
Yeah, so I think show some sensitivity to it. Yeah, and I always feel that, because okay, you must understand that coming out for any LGBT is one of the most stressful situations that this person is going through.
I can't imagine 真的
It's difficult.
I cannot imagine,
It
真的。
is so difficult. It is extremely psychologically stressful. And I think even right now for me, I have come out time and again and again and again and again in my life, sometimes I still struggle. Like in my new company that I'm in, I sometimes still feel that, and I want to be authentic. I want to own who I am. But sometimes it's also about the relationship. Like, do we have the closeness of relationship? And in my mind, like, is this information important
Value
right now?
added.
Yeah, is this value adding? Like, does it affect the way we relate? So yeah, so all these are the questions are hanging on my mind while I'm thinking through, and I'm like, yeah, maybe not. Like, why would it matter?
Yeah, very curious.
Yeah.
Something I want to question there.
Sure, please.
Like, I know that you're very open and you come out of your gayness in the company.
My gayness.
Right? okay, wrong.
Okay, no,
wrong
my sexuality, yes.
sexuality, sorry. How is it different after you come out?
Oh,
Yeah.
a world of a difference.
Because sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we feel that, we maybe have a guess that, this person is gay. But he or she is not coming out yet.
Yeah.
Kind of, we feel that there's this 很像很 struggle 在我们很想帮他 unstruggle himself or herself, but we can't do it. But I'm just curious that for you, after you come out, how is it different?
Okay, so firstly, right, that point about you want to help them to come out.
Say help lah,
You want to you want to kind of ease their struggle, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, firstly, this is their struggle to own. So now I think number one, respect that is their struggle to own,
Okay.
and then therefore it's their prerogative to bring it out. Number two, for me, and this is my personal journey, I think it's made a world of a difference.
Wow.
Because and which is why coming out of the closet is such a great analogy. Because if you're in the closet, what's the condition like? It's dark, it's
lonely.
musty, it's lonely, it's hidden,
can't
it's
see
unseen,
things.
it's unheard. But when you come out of the closet, what do you see? You get light, you get fresh air, you're seen, you're heard, you are out into the light. So that is a great example. This is a great analogy of coming out of the closet. And that's exactly how I felt when I came out of the closet. And I feel that every time I retell my story, every time I retell my narrative, I'm reclaiming my own story.
Wow.
I became more assured of who I am as a person. I'm more assured of who I am as a human being. It has impacted every aspect of my life, every relationship in my life. You just can't even imagine.
Just accept yourself as a wholehearted person, right?
Yes. And we're talking about it. Remember how I was telling you that we don't bring one part of ourselves, right? Like in a new journey, you can't choose to bring one part of yourself into a new journey and not bring other parts. When you bring yourself, you bring a whole of yourself in. And the wholeness of yourself is what's powerful about it. Yeah, like I cannot just bring my corporate self in, and
Hide your gayness in the
my gayness in the closet. Yeah. But I know people who do it.
So okay,
Yeah.
what advice or what would you say to somebody who is struggling with wanting to come out, struggling in the closet, still so dark, cannot see and not seen? What would you say to this person? I'm sure there are many people like that.
There are many.
Like, what
there
would
are
you say, given their experience?
Start small. Start small. Be brave enough to know that when you come out, it's not the end of the world. Okay? But start small and choose. choose those who are close with you, those who you know you can trust, those who are close to you, those who will support you in the journey. Find your allies. Come out to your allies and have a group of allies who are supporting you, a group of friends who will bring you through in life. And as you start coming out again, you will begin to own your own story and you begin to own your identity even more and more every single day. And I think that's very, very powerful because you will start that overflowing into every aspect of your life, your career, your family, your friends, relationship with external, everybody. So you'll be. I mean, I'm still very, very surprised by how much positive impact it has made. But I literally found my voice.
Yeah.
When I was able to reconnect my identity and come out of the closet. And finding that voice is so powerful and so important because you're not living under a cloud anymore. You're coming out of the cloud and you are
coming to the light.
Coming into the light, and you're coming into such a lightness and such freshness. I don't know how to describe that. Like such a huge burden being lifted off you.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I really like it. I really like this advice.
Yeah.
And I think starting small, you get to decide who that small community is. I think,
of course, all the time.
I can imagine many are hungry to be loved and accepted by their family.
Yeah.
But if you think that the family is not going to be supportive, then the small shouldn't involve them.
Yeah.
Nothing is stopping you from telling somebody that is maybe not so kind of close to you, but if you know that they're an ally, then start from there. You get to decide what that small group of community is.
That's right. Yeah.
Maybe the last point will be, and I can imagine that the last point could be family. I don't know, but you get to decide. Start small. Start right. Start small.
Start small. Yeah. But I do also want to say this as one last point. I think the end goal is not to.
Yeah.
The end goal is not to come out.
Okay.
I don't think that's the end goal.
Okay.
I think the end goal is to be fully comfortable with who you are.
Wow.
I think that's the end goal. To embrace yourself and to embrace your identity and be 100% comfortable in your own skin. I think that's the end goal. And whichever you feel that works for you to achieve the end goal of you being comfortable in your own skin, then do it. Yeah. And don't do it because there's expectation for you to come out or whatever. No, do it because you feel right. And do it if it supports you being fully in alignment with who you are as a person. I think that is something that's the most beautiful thing in the world that can happen to anybody.
Wow, I love it. And I hope that with this podcast episode, I'm so grateful, so honored to be able to record this episode about this topic. Like, in a grand scheme of things, this episode about Let's Talk About LGBT is supporting this whole evolution of diversity and inclusion. Yeah. I'm so glad we're able to do this. This has been one of the topics that I really want to talk about for a long time, and I'm glad we had a chance to do this. I hope this episode touched you. I hope this means something to you. If you feel seen and heard, or if you feel that somebody needs to listen and be seen and heard, please share this episode. I think that's the least that you can do. That's an action that you can take. That's starting small. Listening and sharing it with somebody.
Yeah. Great.
Wow.
I love this episode. Okay, so quotes.
Quotes.
Let's go to quotes.
Okay, my quote is a very simple one. It's the quote that I'm sharing a few times this week because it's really resonating with me. It's by Sadhguru. It says this: the moment you identify yourself as good or bad, you're just dividing the world. I think what we really want to do is we want to unite every single individual, no matter what sexual preference you are, but we just want to unite. So we're not over here saying you're good or bad, or you're L or G or whatever.
We want to bridge differences.
We just want to bridge differences. We just want to unite ourselves as human beings. That's all.
I love it because we want to, in D&I we say we want to celebrate diversity. We want to celebrate diversity and we want to bridge differences. And to be honest, that's the only way to do it, because everyone is different, right? But then if you start dividing yourself into, this is their camp, this is my camp, I'm on this side, you're on that side. Hey, you know what? Nobody wins. Nobody wins. But if we can begin to appreciate the fact that we are different and we can come together despite our differences, I think that's the powerful thing that we can do. Thanks for sharing that quote.
Welcome. What's yours?
Mine, this episode has been a little bit serious, but this quote is kind of fun. Do you know RuPaul? Have you heard of RuPaul?
No.
The famous...
Author?
RuPaul. RuPaul, the Netflix show RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh.
So he's a very famous drag queen, and
Okay.
then this show is really fun because we invite contestants. They invite contestants where they come up. It's a drag show competition of who is the most fabulous drag show of the season of the show. So this is his quote. His quote is, RuPaul's quote is, "If you don't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else?
Huh.
If you don't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else?" So I think there's a lot of self-love that doesn't happen.
Yeah, man.
There needs to be a lot of like what I said earlier, you need to embrace your identity. I think a lot of us have been hiding in the closet for too long. You've been hiding in shame, you're hiding in darkness. Come out and love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, how in the hell you're gonna love somebody
I
else?
love it. I love it. If you don't know how to love yourself, you don't know how to be compassionate about yourself, listen to our episode on practicing gratitude. We have an exercise there to teach you how you can start loving and piecing yourself together
Yes,
in your
we do.
own little ways.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I think it was a super great episode. I love this. So
This is a wonderful, it's a very heartfelt episode, and I
Yeah.
really hope that this has brought a lot of meaning to you, and I really hope it has been helpful to you this Pride Month. So once again, happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Go out and celebrate, with the LGBT friends, and do make a note of Pinkdot. Maybe one last thing I want to plug here. Pinkdot is happening this year, 29th of June at Hong Lim Park. It is Pinkdot 16. So turn up in pink, in fabulous pink. Go out there, have a great time. Friends and family, colleagues, whatever. 29th of June, Hong Lim Park, Pinkdot 16.
Thank you for listening. My name is Maddy.
My name is Jeremy.
We are the
Imperfect Rainbow.
Bye.
Bye. See ya. Bye.